Salute to our Blorange Tears fam. What it do? I'd like to thank everyone who's here tonight joining myself, Subliminal 209, Knicks After Party. We have a couple topics to talk about. Hopefully, my boy Cully slides through in the clutch. And I want to talk a little bit about some of our young shining stars. Um, Grimes. I want to talk about a little bit about Quentin Grimes, a little bit about Cam Reddish, um, and a little bit of Mitch, who's hopefully he's still with us at the beginning of next year and gets that contract. I think he's doing really good right now. So yeah, with last with the last game going against Sacramento, Tibbs mentioned he's not going to change the starting lineup and it's going to be the same. So it's the same old Kemba, Evan, RJ, Jules, and Mitch, and same old thing. Kemba scored 0 points. Going up against a scrub team. He had a rookie on him, Davian Mitchell. They're pretty similar in size, 6 foot. Except Davion's a little swole. It's like he be hitting the weights. I wasn't really impressed with Kemba, nor have I been all year. I've been one of those fans who, been on the let's get rid of Kemba, and with Rose being out, he's our veteran. Everybody knows he's our veteran point guard. But still, though, when you're not scoring and guys are scoring on you, I think Davion may have had like 18 points, and he was cooking. So I'm ready to go ahead and trade Kemba or waive Kemba. Just let him go. Let him walk. Maybe some other team picks him up. What it do, Cully?
Yo, I know you ready to trade Kemba.
Yeah, what about you?
Nah.
You still rocking with him?
Still rocking with him.
Okay. Even though he hasn't produced lately, especially yesterday?
Sure, you can say that about a few guys.
Yeah, but he also, like I just mentioned, the guy he was guarding had 18 points on him as a rookie. So you're okay with Thibodeau's starting lineup with Kevin, Evan, RJ, Jules, and Mitch? You're good with that?
Evan, RJ, Jules, and Mitch.
Yep. Is that your ideal starting lineup?
Not necessarily.
So who would your starting lineup be if it was up to you?
I'm throwing Cam in there, man.
Instead of who?
Instead of Evan.
Okay. And then you're just getting rid of Evan completely, or you're throwing him to the second?
To the bench.
He's going to the bench instead of who? Burks?
We say again. You say again instead of who?
You tell me. So he's going to the bench. So whose spot is he taking from on the bench?
Grimes. Grimes is taking Evan's spot eventually on that bench.
Okay. All right.
Even though Evan had a great game the other day, you don't gotta get rid of him completely. But I'm giving damn, my fault. I'm giving those minutes to Grimes.
Yeah, well, Grimes has been taking Evans minutes, whether if he gets cold, has a quicker trigger on him as of lately, and has been given Grimes those minutes though. But yeah, I just been really impressed with how Grimes has been playing as of lately, and what he said. He mentioned, I don't know if you heard though, but he mentioned that, and I'm just paraphrasing right now. These aren't exact words though, but he mentioned that starting this year, that he heard that Tibbs doesn't play rooks. That rooks don't get heavy minutes, and that he was going to show Tibbs that that he is who he is. He's a hard nosed defensive player. He gives you 110%. I'm saying, and he's not just a a 3-and-D player. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot in his bag. And as you can see as of late, that Tibbs is praising him, and he's giving him more minutes, and he's trusting him. And guys like even Julius Randle, seems to be trusting him out on the court as well, and giving him props and you know post game conferences and things like that. So yeah, it's not just one of those. It's not just that he mentioned also, but he also says that he reads a scouting report on players that he's matching up against and learning their tendencies. I'm saying, and that's me being a point guard. I mean, there wasn't really a lot of film. I'm saying back then when I used to ball, but I used to just basically, and I'm sure you've done it too, just during warm-ups. If you're going up against a point guard, or you're going against, you're looking at your opponent, looking at his tendency, whether he's left-handed or right-handed. I'm saying, if he's kind of take those things away from him, when he's just going through warm-ups and kind of checking out ball handling skills and if the player's fluid or not, or stiff on the court, and just kind of in those limited moments, those couple minutes before the game starts, you're kind of just peeping that, and that kind of goes the same thing as when you're a coach and you're coaching younger kids. It's funny because a lot of the brand new coaches, they would just go by size. Oh yeah, he's tall, so he's gonna guard the tall player, and then he's the short one, so he's gonna guard the short one. And I would just have, like, what I'm saying, my son guarding the best ball handler, the one that's out there that looks like he knows what he's doing. So just just picking up on things like that. Just being a defensive player, you want to know your opponent. So that, like, just opened up my eyes and on how Grimes looks at the court and looks at different opponents. He also not just that, he also mentioned during practice time that going against the blue team, that he wants to guard the best wing, which is usually RJ, or the best player, which is usually RJ, that he's going up against. So what does that say about Kemba and Fournier?
They're veterans that's in their ways, and ain't got nothing to prove.
No, he wants the challenge. You know what I'm saying? RJ's 6'6", 6'7", has and strong for that position, and he's a slasher, so he's going to try to play bully ball against other players. So Grimes has taken that challenge, what I'm saying, and getting all in his chest, instead of playing against Fournier, where you kind of just ease off of him and not worrying about him getting past you. He wants to take the challenge. Kind of what RJ had mentioned in the beginning of the year as well, that he wanted to go up against the best wings.
Right.
So he wanted to take that challenge, and I'm just to me, I feel like Grimes is our best perimeter defender. I'm saying guard positions.
I can agree. He's one of them.
He's one of them. So would you say that who would you say?
Reddish now, don't forget.
Reddish? Well, there's a small sample size as far as Reddish, and when I watch Reddish, he doesn't get all up in your chest like Grimes does. What I'm saying? He knows he has that long 7-foot wingspan, and he kind of gives you a little bit of room, and knowing that his athleticism, if he gets a screen, like I mentioned before, he got caught on the screen, and Euro was cooking. Was it Fournier during the Miami game? And when he tried to get past Cam, he did get past him, but then Cam was able to recover and block him from behind when Hero was trying to get to the cup and hit a layup. So he knows, what I'm saying, that he could catch up with his athleticism. He knows his length. But why wait to that last second? What I'm saying? Why not just put pressure on you from the jump? I'm saying, so that's all I'm. They're just two different types of styles.
Yeah, there's different types of defenders. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. There are two different types of style defenders and stuff like that. But what I'm just trying to get at is that Grimes will start pressing you at 94 feet from the jump. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to let you have a second of breathing room. That's kind of what I'm getting at. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty bright, our future with the Grimes, RJ, and the Cam as far as defensive players, though. Like, and I also mentioned the versatility of Grimes guarding 1 through 3, maybe a small ball four, depending on situations and desperate times of need. So I mean, I'm just liking the versatility of what he brings and his confidence of um, of what he brings. I just feel by February 10th, if they don't trade Fournier, you know what I'm saying, and or not saying that they will because of his contract, but at that point, I feel Tibbs needs to start Grimes. You know what I'm saying, because at least he gives you that defensive effort in the beginning of the game. That way, we're not caught up in a you know in a hole by being in a 10-point deficit or something like that. So that's kind of just what I'm getting at. He just showed a lot as of lately. Let me salute some people in the chat. Let me salute Geraldine McIver, Drip Moore, Long Island Sound One. Salute, salute. Canal Banloya, salute. Ty, salute. What to do? So I appreciate y'all joining us tonight. So yeah, what about Grimes has impressed you?
Oh, me? What I like with Grimes, I was thinking about this the other day. You're not getting any feedback from me, right?
No.
Oh, okay, I got my fan on. No, what I like about Grimes that I was thinking about the other day, he came in the league with criticism that he doesn't have a quick first step, an elite athletic first step. His decision making though, his quick. I will say he has quick decision making. He knows once he gets the ball, he's either going to shoot it, pass it back out, maybe reset, or he's going to try to look to score. So I will say that his quick decision making makes up for his his elite first step. Sometimes it's all about what's going on in your b-ball IQ instead of athleticism. So I like that with him, and it's not like he doesn't have athleticism at all. He has sneaky athleticism, so I like that. He has crafty, skillful moves. He's gonna start putting it on the deck more the more confident he gets. So that's the number one thing I like with him. I already know he can shoot, but that's the number one thing I like with him. His IQ makes up for his his little athleticism, yada yada yada.
I hear you. I hear you. And Keith Turner mentioned that I'm not ready to put Grimes over Reddish. I think they're trading Fournier to put Reddish and Barrett together in the starting lineup. And that's what we just mentioned. Keith Turner is by February 10th, if Fournier's still on the roster, I would like Grimes to take over that position to solidify that two spot and help RJ out on the three. You know what I'm saying? That way we could guard these wings and take less pressure off of RJ. You know what I'm saying? Because when Grimes is out there, maybe he could guard the better defender while giving RJ a little more, just energy out there. That way he's not so gassed. Because like you mentioned, Grimes is known as a 3-point shooter, as a set shooter, but as of lately he's been putting it on the deck, like Kelly had mentioned. He did a nice little hezzy, so he dribbled, went behind the back, stopped and stood and crossed over. I think it was on Hallie, and took him to the rack. And it wasn't like super fluid, but like he just plays hard, like at 110%. So even his dribbling, the way he dribbles is really, really hard when he dribbles. Like he's just trying to get from point A to point B. There's just north to south. There's no going east to west. There's no playing around. I got my goal. I know where I'm going, and I'm just trying to lower my shoulder to get there. Like you mentioned, that's high IQ. I'm not, he's not messing around, and it looked good when he did it though. So I was impressed with that. Just the more he plays out there, the more comfortable he gets, where he's able to showcase these other abilities instead of just being known as a 3-and-D player. Is what I'm trying to get at them. So yeah, I just believe that he needs more time, and we don't really see too many middies from Grimes, and the one midi that we've seen lately, he threw up a UFO though. So that just comes with time. You're not going to be perfect at everything. You're just more comfortable at doing certain things. But when you have the open spot, you gotta take it. When you have a clean look, you gotta take it regardless though. But yeah, and just his defense, it's not just on ball defending or pressing at 94 feet. He's also a great help defender where he's able to help out on teammates, opponents, then get back and close out and contest on the guy he was originally guarding at the time. So, I mean, his help defense is on point, and his on ball defense is on point too. So I'm really impressed with how he moves around on the court, offensively and defensively. He's never just standing around, just you know, not doing anything. He's always moving. He's always in motion. He's always looking for either helping on defense or cutting on offense. So yeah, I do. The more I watch this kid, the more the more I like him, because he just opens up his game. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know he could do that. Especially like you said, just putting the ball on the deck, like going behind the back and crossing over. I was like, yeah, that was nice. So, anything else you'd like to add about Grimes?
No, that's pretty much it, man. I'm happy that he's getting a chance to play. I'm happy that coach is giving him a chance to play. A guy like Tibbs don't give nobody a chance, so I can't stand coach either. But I'm happy that at least one rookie is getting a chance. One thing I will say, the Grimes deserves it, man. When you see him play, you can see he deserves it. He got under Tero's skin. He got under Hero's skin last week. Hero. I was thinking about that today too. He knocked him down by accident, and Hero he offered his hand to help him up. Hero didn't even want to. He didn't even want his help getting up, which is cool. That's just basketball, man. So I'm here for it. As far as Grimes, I'm here for it.
Yeah, and it's not just Grimes too. Tibbs had shot out Deuce McBride as well. He said that they both are pretty similar what they bring to the table as far as their defense, and being high IQ players. And that was something that we talked about, is why Tibbs in the front office drafted these guys, because they're hard hat, carry your lunch pail to work. I'm saying, still toe boots. Let's get it done. We no messing around with these guys. They're gonna play defense. They're not gonna just be dribbling the ball east and west to waste time. Nah, they're getting from point A to point B. So even though we haven't seen a lot of McBride, and it's usually during garbage time on blowouts, but we see what he brings to the table as well. He's just being groomed right now and waiting for his time, and that'd be another reason for Kemba to get traded, even if we don't trade for a point guard and it's just just for salary or whatever matches, and we ended up just waiving that player afterwards. That still gives Deuce McBride an opportunity, because I do feel like he could run the second unit with IQ and the Cam Reddish, and taking the ball out of IQ's hands and letting him go back to the natural two position, where he's just taking open clean looks instead of trying to orchestrate the offense and kind of thinking too much when he's not a natural point guard. So I mean, yeah, I feel like we are going to see, even if he doesn't start, which I'm hoping he does, he'll get those minutes though. It's already headed in that direction as it is. So yeah, just super impressed with him. Glad he was our pick. And is there anybody? I'm not really good with comparisons and stuff like that. Is there any comparisons you see Grimes as far as new players or old players?
There's a few I've heard. It's all shooting guards too. I kind of like the comparisons. I would hope he pans out to be like them. That'll be dope. I'm not gonna get my hopes up though. But I've heard Brandon Roy. I've heard all good shooting guards. I've heard Brandon Roy. I heard Chris Middleton. I've heard Devin Booker. I've heard Allen Houston. I might have heard T-Mac. I'm not sure. I feel like there's one more I've heard. But those are the four guys I just named. Those are the guys I've heard though.
Okay,
Allen Houston. Cool. Yeah. I'd probably say he shoots like Allen Houston. He might have a bag like Brandon Roy though. He might.
Yeah, and I seen Brandon Roy play many a times, being out here in Portland.
That's right.
Yeah, and there was one time when we had Nate Robinson on the team, and we had I can't think of his name. Wasn't he went to the Warriors? David Lee. We had David Lee on the team, and we were up. And then what happens? Brandon Roy splits the defenders and hits a game-winning shot. I was like, oh man, we had
that game. I remember that game. So you was at that game?
Yeah, I was at that game.
I remember that game. It was sad to watch. He hit that. I thought it was a post-up move he hit. You're right. It was a split. He did split defenders. Yeah.
Yeah. I was hitting. So yeah, I was at that game.
The Knicks was beating in that game. I think it was a comeback.
Yeah, yes, we were winning. That's the thing. That's what made it put the dagger in my heart right there. I was like, no.
Always the case with the Knicks, yo. They always do the comeback. Always the case.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm really, really impressed with that kid, and that's a nice group of guys that you mentioned to be mentioned around. So I mean, if he could hit close to any of those cats, then I'm good with that. Yeah, I kind of want to move on to Obi. I mean, Obi's been showing us different looks lately. I don't know if it was him going into the front office and complaining about his minutes, but that may have worked because they may have forced Tibbs' hand to play him some more, and it's showing that it worked. He's showing a little bit of different elements to his game. I'm saying, like, he was at the 3-point line, did a little fake pass over there, goes left, and then crossover right and goes off the glass. And I'm like, okay, all right, Obi. Like, just a nice little left and right. And he did another one like that. It was a euro. Yeah, he did a little euro.
Right.
So I'm like, all right. I mean, he's adding, like I mentioned, he's getting more comfortable. When he goes left, he finishes left, and when he goes right, he finishes right. And it's always like just like one dribble. He doesn't waste any time getting to the cup either. So I like that. I like that about him. The only thing is he's he goes more with the finesse than just finishing strong and trying to yam on somebody. And
right.
I'm hoping he does that during, it's already too far into the season right now for him to, build up that much strength, because you're running, you're conditioning, and you're trying to build muscle at the same time though. But I just don't understand why at practice they don't have those bags. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to the hole, and they just kind of hit him with the bag and give him some contact. That way he finishes. You know what I'm saying? And gets those.
Because it's a new generation. But I know what you mean. The pads. The big pads.
Those pads. Yeah, those pads. I'm not saying like knock him to the ground, but just a little contact, just to throw you off your direction. You know what I'm saying? If you're
you would want him. You would want these guys to be like the guys you compare him to. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, of course, Obi Toppin, Grimes is Grimes, but I know what you mean. I would want them to pan out to be like those guys. I mean, it's okay to hope, because I would want Obi to be like Amari in the sense of dunking on people. Every time Amari was going to the basket, he was looking to dunk on you. And I'm not going to lie, though. A lot of those times, Amari converted. He dunked on a lot of people, yeah. He got that dunk off. He was pretty strong and athletic. He was gifted to do it. So I would love for Obi to be like that, where he could posterize. We could use a posterizer on the Knicks, man. And I love his energy.
And that was his comparison going into the draft. You remember that? They were comparing him to, they were comparing him to Amari into the draft. And
did he get any Blake Griffin comparisons?
Maybe a couple, not that many though. But right. the majority of them was, and they're pretty similar as far as their frame. But a younger Phoenix Suns Amari,
right?
And when he was with Nash, and they were more running and gunning,
right?
So I can see that though. I'm just impressed with him. Just having the confidence to go to the cup, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he's been doing that a lot more lately in the games, and not just settling because he was at first he was doing a nice little pump fake baseline, then Yemen, but now he's moving from the baseline corner to the top of the key and operating from there.
You know, yeah. What I like, not to cut you off, what I like with him, he'll get the ball from the top of the key or the corner, and he'll get his defender up. He'll like 1 or 2 dribbles, he's up, man. I love it, man. He's learning, man. That's growth right there, man. He's learning the NBA. You gotta love it. It's slowing down for him. He's getting to the cup. I love it, man. I love it. I just hope we don't trade him, man. He gets nice somewhere else. I mean that remains to be seen right now. We have from today all the way to the deadline. What is the deadline? Is it March? Or is it end of February? End of this
February 10th.
That's the deadline, right?
Yeah, February 10th.
Okay, so we have 10 days, 9 days. Oh boy, February's here already, man. This has been a rocky season, yo. This has been a rocky season. This ain't what we hoped for, man. This is not what we was looking for.
Nah, that's not what we expected.
I mean, hey, we didn't expect the most wins, but I didn't expect losses like this either. I mean, I expected like some fight, man.
Yeah,
I need some fight.
I'm with you. I expected some competitiveness. You know what I'm saying? Just
Right.
like the grit. What happened to the New York Grits, man? We not the New York Grits anymore. We used to,
right.
Just grind. We used to just grind, and the grind is gone. You know, we'll see though. Hopefully this win leads into many more. But yeah, I just been impressed with Obi. His defense as well, though. It's not just he's been better helping on help defense. He's been backpedaling, trying to get back on defense. One of the first ones. He's pointing out other guys where to go, and so he's not just a liability anymore on defense. He actually, like you said, he's figuring it out. The game is slowing down. He's kind of know where his spots are, where to be. So I'm super impressed with him now. If that 3-point shot can go down consistently, not just the little shot clock violation in the fourth quarter that he beat to hit the 3, but just being more consistent on the 3 or taking a mid, he's just going to open up his game a lot more. Let's salute some more cats in the chat. Sizer Souza, 718. There's a Manchild, salute. IQJ, salute. Robert Parr, salute. King Ribby RM, salute.
More Robert Parr, yeah, salute.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all joining us tonight.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Anything else you wanna add to?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I want to ask you, who do you with the trade deadline, getting there? Anybody? I mean, I know who you like, but any new faces? Any new names pop up for you? Any ideal players, like any out of our league type of guys you want, like type of superstars? Like there's no chance, but you never know.
Yeah, I really don't waste my time in thinking of guys that aren't gonna join us, and Christmas was already 2 months ago, so that's gone and passed. I just don't see our front office making any big moves like that. They're very methodical on decisions that they make and moves that they make, and out of the biggest one that we've heard so far is that De'Aaron Fox trade, and we didn't even get a chance to see him play yesterday and showcase, what he had, what he was able to do.
Right. Oh yeah, man. Now if he was there, imagine them being imagine us struggling to beat them if he was there. Oh my goodness. The trade would have had to happen fast. It's funny because it's always the games that we win. That's like, if we lost those games, a trade would have happened probably that same night, or some move would have been made. There's been a lot of games like that. Because there's times when we lose a few in a row, but then we beat the team. We beat a team we shouldn't lose to. I will say that, and then we start getting it back together, and then we go down again. Like we look horrible again. I think we play the Grizzlies tomorrow, but anyway, we'll get to that later. Not to go off topic. So actually, no, I'm not on topic. My bad. My bad. So, so I was talking with Duke about this a little earlier
Mm-hmm.
on his show. Pardon. On his show, we talked about how about a trade for Donovan Mitchell. Um, so we talked about Randall and Fournier's salary, their contracts may add up to Mitchell. Mitchell, I think, makes the high 20s. I think he makes 30, either 20 or 30. 'Cause I think he gets his is like 5 years, 200 mil. I don't know if it's 5 or 4 years, 200 mil, something like that. But he gets in the high 30s. So I was thinking, Randall and Fournier's contract would that might be the ones to do it. Hadouken, he brought up the idea of Fournier being French and Rudy Gobert being French, that you could pair them up, which I found hilarious. But I figure also for Randall, Randall might need a change of scenery if he wants to perform. He might have to get a change of scenery to perform his best now at this point in his career. I don't know. He just might not be fit for New York, and it's not a bad thing. Some guys just aren't. Some guys are just not fit for New York. He's still a skilled player, but he just he might not be he might not be built for New York, man. It just might not be his thing. The fans are there. Might be too much for him, and like I said, it's okay, man. Things happen. Some people are just not built for it. It's a big market.
You talking about Randall?
Randall, yeah.
Yeah, we know the pressure gets to Randall. We know that he's not a true number one. We just need to bring another complement player, that another player that complements him, to take some of that pressure off of him. And we mentioned what would Randall look like with the point guard. And we're not saying that, or that Randall can't score. Randall's not a 3-level scorer. He could get his own buckets, but what would he look like with the point guard that could create on his own, that could, when Randall's not cooking, this point guard's cooking. You know what I'm saying? Playing defense, making the easy plays, kind of telling him, get your butt in the low post and take advantage of this, things like that. Knowing that if Randall gets the pass that, or passes the ball, that he's going to get the ball back. Just little things like that, and that's why he feels so comfortable out there with the Grimes, because he knows that Grimes isn't going to force anything. He's gonna make the next play if he doesn't have the shot. He's just not going to be chucking up shots left and right. But as far as that Utah Jazz, they just lost Joe Ingles with the torn ACL.
Right.
Yeah, so if they're not going to trade Mitchell to,
they're still in the West.
Yeah, they're probably.
Well, the reason I bring up Mitchell is because I know he expressed frustration, and it's sad because I know this is off topic. It's not Knicks related, but it's funny. I find it interesting because we're at the midpoint of the season, and for him to express that he'd rather be in a big market, if that's what he said, for him to say that, and we're not even at the playoffs yet, it's like he already knows it's going to happen. He already knows in the playoffs, he already knows he can have a good season with this team, just for them to stick it up in the playoffs. Last year they lost to a Paul George led team. No Kawhi Leonard. Terrence Mann had a 40-piece on him or 50-piece on him, and I know that hurts. And then they lost to the Nuggets the year before, so it's like I know how that's what Donovan Mitchell's thinking. He just knows. He's been upset. He's been disappointed the most. So it's just funny how he sees that already. The team is sitting fourth in the West. Last year their team was number one in the West. If I'm not mistaken, or number two. Only to blow it.
That's even more of a reason to bring in players to, fill in those holes and to get them to the next level instead of being a first, second round exit. So right. I mean, they need shooters. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, guys who are available on our team would be a Evan Fournier or a Burks. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe both. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, as far as getting rid of him, it wouldn't be mid-season. It would probably be, at the end of the season where you could build up his. I mean, you don't really have to build it up because everybody knows who he is, though. But you get the best value out of it. Kind of what Philly's doing with Ben Simmons. If they can't get the the right deal for him right now. They're just going to wait for the summer and just when everybody has either cap space or has the time to figure out what moves they want to make. So yeah, I don't see that happening. Um, and as far as trading Randall, um, I'm good on trading Randall.
Mhm.
I know he's been he's been kind of a head case this year with his decisions, but I just don't see any other power forwards out there. Do you trade him? Do you trade him for a Fox? I mean, there was rumors about Harrison Barnes, and he kind of ate Harrison. He kind of ate Harrison's Barnes food yesterday. So
Right.
I'm not really impressed with Harrison Barnes. Are you a Harrison Barnes fan?
I like him. Actually, well, I liked Harrison Barnes when we was looking for wings. I mean, I don't think we're done looking for wings, but I mean, I like Harrison Barnes. I mean, I know Julius said this fool yesterday. I don't know, Julius. I was thinking it's funny because I was thinking like, what if we trade for a small ball for like a guy that could play 3 and 4?
You mean like an Obi?
He said like Obi.
We already got Obi.
There's not many. Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's not many. Because there's not many good power forwards out there. I mean, I like Christian Wood. His name was brought up too in links to Randall. His name was brought up. His name was linked to Randall for a while. I think they make about the same. I think, or similar. Their contracts are similar. I would make the move for Christian Wood. I don't know if the Rockets would. I really don't know. And I really don't know. I don't know if teams. We got to get Randall off our hands though fast before it gets worse. That's all I can say. Before the stock drops completely. Before the stock gets bankrupt. Put it like that. Where it turns over.
I just think he has enough tape on him as far as being a 18-point scorer or above with close to 9 boards a game. I mean, yeah, his percentages have dropped down as far as field goal percentage and 3-point percentage though. But I mentioned this in many shows that once he decides to put his head down and get to the cup, there's not that many people that can stop him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Only thing is, when does he do it? He doesn't. It's like he doesn't do that all the time. He should.
and that and that's where that's what I'm saying. Bring in pieces that are going to hold you accountable. Facilitate the offense. Tell them get off of the 3-point line and get down the post. I'm gonna feed you down there. You got a mismatch. If you don't make that quick decision to spin and go up strong, then kick it back out and we'll reset. You can't depend on a Kemba Walker who's not a facilitator. He's more of a get your own bucket, and then who's the next player that takes in that starting position when Kemba's not there? It's Burks, our Swiss Army knife. That now you're asking him to orchestrate the offense and get everybody in their spots, and he's not. That's not where he's comfortable doing that. He can do it, like he's like Burger King. He can do it in a limited time only, but not on a consistent basis. There was a time last game where Burks got the board, looked up the whole time, and found Obi leaking out and cutting out for the oop. And I was like, well, not all of our point guards do that. Not everybody grabs the board and looks up and is trying to make that quick transition, point. So, I mean, we're asking all these other players to play out of position. And I feel if you just get a point guard who's a natural point guard who create on his own and get others involved, that it would make our offense look so much better. I mean, D Rose kind of does that. He could get his bucket on his own, and he could look for Obi on leakouts, but he's not really getting too many people involved. It's more like a one look. If you're not cutting or you're not open, then I'm gonna get my own. We need somebody who can set the table and look for like the quarterback. You go through all your reads, and you go through your first read, your second read, your third read, and then you're scanning the whole field. We need a point guard that can scan the whole court. I'm saying and look at everybody's position. So I don't even know if that guy's out there. And I mentioned a Brunson, but he's not your number. He's not a 1A. We're not going to get a one. We're not going to get
PC too as well, man.
Yeah, we're not going to get a 1A though. I just want players with high IQ that can play, that just know the game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
okay,
what you need. But you know what, Sub? Tibbs feels the same way, and you know what type of players he looks at with high IQ? Veterans.
but you can say that about anybody because who's to say if we fire Tibbs that the next coach doesn't do the same thing? You know,
So
what gives me my best chance of winning? The vets.
exactly.
I don't want to go through the trials and tribulations of playing these youngins and taking their lives. What happened to Mike Miller? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got rid of Fizz and we're like, all right, Kevin Knox is gonna start. Nope. Who started? We traded for Morris Heartless.
Marcos, yeah.
Yeah, and then he, like, the day he landed, he started that game. He started
Right.
that game. Why? Because Miller was fighting for his job, that he wanted more wins, and he was trying to show the NBA that the NBA teams that he could coach as well, that
Yeah.
he could win games. So unless you bring in,
Right.
unless you bring in a developmental coach that the front office and the coach have discussed, this is a 3-year plan, and we are gonna, whether we win, lose, or draw, we're still gonna play these young kids to build them up. But
And that's the thing. I agree with, and that's exactly, those are the exact words that I hate from these coaches, man. They this I'm going with what I feel like gives me the best chance to win. And then you look at the record of the team and it shows otherwise. I've heard it from Derek Fisher. I heard it with Kurt Rambis. I didn't really hear it from Jeff Hornacek. I don't remember. I actually like Jeff Hornacek. I heard it. Mike Miller. I mean, I give Mike Miller a pass because I actually like what he was able to do. Because he was sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm going my best chance to win." He actually did a little something. He got Randall to turn a new leaf. I will say that at the time, and especially losing Marcus Morris, and then we had the pandemic, of course. But Fizdale was another one. He's a POS. I'm going with my best chance to win. He turned his whole back on Knox. I'm tired of it too. I'm tired of the same old conundrum. Even the coaches from the early 2000s, Larry Brown, the Lenny Wilkins, Isaiah Thomas, like just the coaches with the old school mentality. Oh, I'm going with my best chance to win, and they get all these veteran, all these old over the hill players in here, and just lose. And it's not the way to build. That's not how you build, man. It's just not, because it's just not the way to build, yeah. But I mean, like I said, I agree with you though with the whole thing with Tibbs. I hope we don't get a coach like that. Knicks have to just go with a developmental coach and just do what they should. And I don't know if that's what Leon Rose wants, and Tibbs is just doing it the other way. I don't know, but that's the direction we need to just build organically. You see these teams, they get these. I mean, we also have to hit in the draft too, but you see these teams, they get these young draft players, they get these youngins, and they get these young superstars. And over the course of years, the young superstars, they get better and better. And then they finally get an aging superstar to pair up with them that gets them over the hump, or to teach them. Yeah, I was thinking about that today with Chris Paul. Chris Paul might have been the final piece to the Suns. Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton. You know what I mean? Devin Booker struggled his whole career in Phoenix. Got Chris Paul, changed the whole trajectory. Even in OKC, I mean, they didn't start building in OKC yet, but with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that team is young. Chris Paul might have been the oldest. He was the oldest player on that team. Obviously, he had them in the playoffs. Had them as a contender. They just traded Westbrook for Chris Paul, so he had them as a contender. Now, I bet you if you put Chris Paul back on that team now, the Thunder, they'll be in the playoffs somewhere competing. They might not be as good as the Suns, but they'll be competing. You know what I mean? Things like that. I just feel like, not to cook for so long, but I feel like you bring in veterans when you want to help your young superstars out, not the other way around. You don't just. I don't think you just build a team around veterans and just kick the youngest to the side and add more veterans. You need a foundation first, as my man G-Man would say. You need a foundation. You know what I mean?
You gotta mix and match it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta mix and match it.
We don't have the right. IQJ. Yeah, I noticed that. I know that. I know he averaged that before came, but it's like that's what I'm saying. Devin Booker, he struggled. He wasn't getting that team over that hump. He would have never got the Suns over the hump without Chris Paul, ever. Not in the West, ever. You know what I mean? So you look at
Well, they went on that nice stretch in the bubble to almost make the playoff spot when they went undefeated.
Right.
And that was without Chris Paul. You know?
But let me see. Somebody else had to play well, and that might have been Kelly Oubre. Not taking nothing away from Devin Booker, but that was. Yeah, okay. Devin Booker was due. He was due for one good season. That might have been his best good season. I mean, he had a good season, but I'm saying he might have been due for one season to finally make playoffs. That might have been it, but still wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough, you know. And Kelly, like I said, Kelly Oubre, he was starting to have a good year. He might have been he was a good piece to that team. But yeah, the Knicks just they've been going in the wrong direction for years, yeah. I like what they did in this year's draft, but you know.
But did you feel like that from the jump, or were you like, what? Who is Grimes? Or you
know? No, I was
okay
with it. I didn't like when they traded back. I guess that was for money, but at the same time, you trade back to save some million in cap space. However, all your money went to Fournier. All of it. The whole cap space went to Fournier. That I'm not happy about. And like I said, I'm still. It's funny because I heard somebody say it on Sim's show today. He said, I'm part of the Fournier hive. There's not many of us out there. And I was thinking that too. I still like Fournier. It's just that I just know it's a bad fit.
I just don't like him as a starter. Not to cut you off though, but I just don't like him as a starter. Look how he was playing with the Celtics. He wasn't starting with the Celtics. They had him, you know what I'm saying, just with the second unit.
Right.
So if they knew that, then why can't we figure that out? You know? Same thing goes for Kemba. If they let him go, why did we pick up the scraps and
maybe Leon Rose, you think Kemba? What probably caught Leon Rose's eye was cheap. The fact that Kemba was cheap. He was already brought out, so that's where you got him at your grasp. Oh, okay, we'll work you out a deal. You probably gave him a cheap, reasonable deal. That's why I think that's what caught Leon Rose's attention at the time.
Yeah, but why was Kemba so far down the line and Fournier the first, pickup that you made, knowing that we just ran into that situation the year before that we let go of EP and then we paid him at the end to bring him back when we struck out in free agency.
Oh man!
Then the following year again we let him go again, and we don't pick up a point guard in free agency, and we don't pick up a point guard in the draft. You know what I'm saying? In the first round, or with the second. Because we had two picks. So why wait so long? Then for what? Then we sign everybody else back. We run it back and sign everybody else back, and then we pick up Kemba last minute. Like, you guys got your priorities all mixed up. You knew what the hole was. You knew how important that position is. How every NBA has a point guard or two or three, and we had none. And you chose not to make that a priority. And look at us now. We have players playing out of position. We have players that we're forcing to get their own buckets and not playing a system. We need a point guard to run the system, to run, to run the offense. That's what they do. They make it easier on their teammates to get easier looks and cleaner looks, and we just never get that position, solidified.
Right.
And if they feel like De'Aaron Fox is it, then do it. You know what I'm saying? If they feel like De'Aaron Fox is it, then do it. If they feel like Brunson is it, then do it. If they, whatever. I'm just tired of not having this point guard. We have two point guards that are past their prime, in their 30s, both got bum knees,
mm-hmm.
and both undersized. So I mean, why do we keep doing this to ourselves? Is my question.
Right.
And Deuce just isn't ready yet. He could run the second unit, but as far as running the first unit, I just don't feel like he has the credibility yet in order to run the offense. He still needs more time, like you mentioned. It's slowing down for other players. Right now, you would just throw him into the fire and expect him to pick it up. Though I mean, he had a good game. Was it against OKC or was it against Toronto? He had a 16 point.
I thought it was the Rockets, or maybe it was. I didn't see the OKC and Toronto one. I saw glimpses.
Okay, yeah, 16 points, what 9 assists and no turnovers. But
was that a D League game?
No, that was the NBA game. It was when Kemba and Jules weren't playing and
protocol.
Obi started and Deuce started. And then I don't know what happened, but he must have did something to Tibbs that Tibbs didn't like, and we haven't seen him since. I don't understand why this kid gets no run whatsoever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know if he says something. He say something slick to Tibbs or what. I'm still sitting here trying to figure it all out.
For someone who plays defense, and he mentioned it, the other day in the press conference, he doesn't allow him to go out there and at least play defense. Just give him spot minutes. When Kemba's not cooking, and then you throw, if and IQ's not cooking because IQ doesn't go out there and perform every game either. So when you got to try different things out, you got to try to. But I don't know. We know who Tibbs is though, so I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now.
Right.
But we'll see though. We'll see. I want to talk a little bit about Mitch. He went into the game with 390 blocks, tied with Marcus Camby, who was at the game.
Right.
And they actually interviewed him, and he mentioned how the game has changed since he was with the Knicks, and since he was, one of the leading shot blockers. And now he says it's a lot harder now because now you're out there defending these stretch fives out on the perimeter, and we know what Mitch does. He's out there guarding stretch fives. He's out there in help defense, and he's still asked to protect the paint while helping others. So he was during that game. He was tied with Marcus Camby. Then he ended up getting 2 blocks on Davion Mitchell twice, back to back. I don't know why he tried that same high layup off the glass, but Mitch wasn't having that, so he ended up passing him up and being 5th all time as far as Knicks shot blockers. So I was giving him his kudos for that. I wasn't sure if they talked after the game. Did you hear or see anything about that? Marcus Camby, remember when
I saw Marcus Camby speak on the side, but I didn't see if Mitch talked about it. I didn't see if he
he didn't go and give him props after the game or nothing like that, or give him any.
I didn't see. I'm not sure, but he likely did. I'm sure he likely did, but I didn't see it. I didn't see if he did.
Yeah, I mean they stopped the game for the Stephen Curry 3-point, shot when and Ray Allen was there. They couldn't stop the game for Mitchell Robinson to go shake hands with Marcus Camby, who was there on the sideline. I mean, that ain't right.
Guys, Curry will be linked to us forever in the wrong way, man. In the wrong way.
And not only that though, but Mitch had 7 boards in the first quarter. So he was down there just grinding, just getting dirty. I was just been really impressed. Like he's showcasing right now for not only the Knicks, but for the rest of the NBA. At least that's how I feel. Do you feel the same way? Like
pretty much, because we don't know. We still don't know the verdict on him, man. If we're keeping him or not. So yeah, pretty much.
And I like Mitch. His versatility on the defense, as far as he can basically, in limited time, can guard 1 through 5. He's caught out on the island with the point guard.
Right.
And he just has so many great qualities, and he broke the Wilt Chamberlain record his rookie year as far as field goal percentage.
Right.
And now he broke another record for the Knicks as fifth in shot blocking. So I mean, we know what this kid is. We knew he was raw when we drafted him. Um, we knew what he brought to the table. We knew he was a rim runner. Um, but he's been showing a lot. He's been putting the ball down. He was out on the charity stripe, and he took one dribble and yammed it. So he's getting looks for himself now, not and actually looking at the basket instead of having his back to the basket and just getting the ball and handing it off. So even him lately is adding a little bit of offense to his bag.
Right, because I need some assertiveness from Mitch, man.
Yeah.
Some type of assertiveness.
The one thing is, did you notice they were doing the hack a shot on Mitch during the game?
Yeah. Try to slow the game down.
Yeah, they try to slow the game down. They try to take less possessions out. They didn't want scoring going on. And what I don't understand is where's our developmental staff as far as helping this kid with his free throw shooting? I mean, oh my gosh, he has no kind of arc on his free throw whatsoever. like it's just straight beelines. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like when you're shooting free throws, I mean, it's just you can practice that all day long by yourself. You're in the same spot, and everybody has their own routine, of how they shoot free throws. Did you ever have a routine when you shot free throws?
No.
No?
No routine.
Mine was 3 dribbles, a spin off my hand, a rotate backwards, and then I release it. It was 3 moves because my number was always 5, so it was like 3 dribbles, a spin 4, and then a spin off my hand 5. So I even getting a routine. Do you remember when DeAndre Jordan was played for the Knicks and he was such a horrible free throw shooter that he was doing so much overthinking that he would shoot it, or before he shoot it, he'd go and talk to the guy on the left and talk to the guy on the right. That way he's not doing so much thinking before he shoots, and then shoots it. I mean, whatever it takes. If it's taking all 10 seconds before you release the ball, because he doesn't even do that. I mean, he's playing so hard. He's on the ground. He's huffing. He's puffing. And then you get to the charity stripe and you're not taking the full 10 seconds. Like, calm yourself down. Take some deep breaths, kind of, just whatever you have to do, I just don't understand. How you could be in the NBA, have all these NBA developmental staff members, assistants, shooting coaches, all this, and then there's nobody helping him.
Right, I can agree, yo.
Yeah, buy this kid a rebounding machine that just get for Christmas or whatever, for his birthday. That way, the ball can go back to him when he's when he just wants to shoot by himself. Shoot these free throws. I just don't understand. I don't want to get rid of Mitch though, man. I like Mitch. I just feel like he's gonna walk. I feel like he's showcasing. I mean, how many agents does he have? Right? Did he fire like 4 or 5 agents? Something like that, right?
Yeah, something like
that. And what are the agents' jobs? Is to get you money.
Pretty much.
So you're not firing 5 agents not to get no bread. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like he's just gonna walk, and before he walks, they need to either trade him or sign him. So I don't know. I would just hate to see him walk for nothing. I'm okay with him. I'm okay with him sticking around. You know what you're gonna get out of Mitch. We just need a little bit more of a developmental, staff to, to broaden his game, because now he's looking to create on his own. Now he's asking for the ball in the post. He had no post game whatsoever before. Now he's asking for the ball in the post. He's looking at the cup. He's taking Plumlee off the bounce, doing euros. He's taking other centers off the bounce. So I'm okay with that.
Right.
We're not going to see him popping trays. No matter if he gets the green light or not. But he gives you that defensive, tenacity. He's out there giving it all, and he's not fouling anymore as much as he was at the beginning of his rookie year. He used to foul out every single game. Where it came to a point where he was like, "I'd rather just come off the bench than start, because I'm gonna just get in foul trouble if I start the game off. So you're gonna take me out anyway, so I might as well just go in with the second unit."
I just want to see I want to see Cam, man.
Yeah, did you hear the crowd cheering for?
Yeah, I see him got his.
I mean, it only took us to be up. Was it 91-73 or 94-73? I think we were up by 21 points. Yeah, 94-73. And then it was 8 minutes and 17 seconds in the fourth quarter, and the crowd was yelling for Cam, "We want Reddish. We want Reddish."
That's RJ's boy, man. Like, put him in, man. Like, come on, coach. My goodness. Put the guy in.
Yeah, that wasn't the only time they were calling for Cam, though. That first time, Tibbs was not budging, though. He was like, I ain't having it. Like, you guys can call for him all you want. He ain't going in the game.
Tibbs is something else, man, I tell you.
I mean, he doesn't necessarily, we don't really need to have, see what Cam's about right now, because we still have him for the rest of this year and next season.
Right.
It's not like the Kevin Knox trade where Knox is on a, expiring contract deal this year, and Atlanta is kind of forced to see what he brings to the table. Kind of like with the Dennis Smith Jr. trade when he went to the Pistons.
Right.
He had that half a season for the Pistons to figure out if he was a player that if they were looking at for the future, and they didn't feel like that after that half of the season or whatever it was, because he ended up going to Portland. But same thing for Knox, is they kind of got to figure out if they're going to keep Knox or if they're going to let him walk. So yeah, his time is short over there, so they're kind of forced to play him to see if he fits their scheme, or if he has that chemistry with other players. Is he someone that can work with the Trae Young and with Cam?
Knox is over there getting burned now. He's over there playing.
But that's what I'm saying, though, because they have to figure out how they can use him, or if he's in their future plans.
Right.
Because they only have to the end of this season, where Cam, we have him for this season and next season before we have to make a decision.
Right.
But if we get rid of a Burks, and Burks goes to Utah, goes back to his old stomping grounds, then
he can go back.
Yeah, then that opens up, a void in that small forward position, and that'll kind of force Tibbs' hand to playing Cam, which I'm cool with. I mean, like, I like Burks. Don't get me wrong, but he has had a real down year this year. Even though he was our leading scorer last game, I think he had 21 points. They weren't asking him to be that point guard anymore. And yeah, he led the team with 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 boards. But we're talking about the Sacramento Kings here. Everybody pretty much had a good night except Kemba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
I don't know, man. I don't know who's the move we make. I really don't know, man.
I had mentioned this, I had mentioned this in the beginning of the year, though. Like, just get rid of these vets in the beginning of the year and force Tibbs to play these young guys.
I don't even know if he could do that right though. I mean, but yes, I mean I'd rather see him try to play young guys, and I guess I'll worry about if he messes that up later. But I don't even know if he could do the young guys right. I would love to see that. I would love to see if it just turns him off to coach young guys. That'll tell you about Tibbs for sure. Like he just can't. He just doesn't want to coach young guys. That'll tell you a lot about Tibbs. I just want to see if he can do it.
Yeah.
This ain't it, man. Huh. This way of basketball just isn't it.
Yeah. You know, it just sucks. It's like having a Corvette in your garage and you don't drive it. You know.
Well, a Corvette with less mileage. Put it like that.
Yeah, just sitting there. You got to take it out for a ride. You know, you got to get in there and you know.
It's like driving the old Ford Mustang with a lot of mileage. That's the one you keep going to. It's like having a tire. Someone said it too before. Not said it a while ago. They said Tibbs would have a flat tire and just won't change it. Yeah. Keep riding. They just be too stubborn and take it to the start shop and get it changed.
Well, I just grab this fix a flat real quick, and it'll do the job.
Right. I just can't do it no more. I can't do the whole. I'm going with my best chance to win and just keep losing. It's actually,
I try not to let those things get to me. So right. I look at the positive things as right now, like I mentioned, we got Grimes who's showing out right now. We have Obi that's showing out right now. Right. RJ had a down game, but I mean, I'm not too worried about RJ. You know, he has ice water in his veins. You know, everybody has a down game. This whole last month, like what was his points his points? He was up there in points like 20. He was like 20-some points in the whole month of January.
I think it was 27, 28, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, like four.
That's what I'm saying. He was up there. He just had a down game.
Yeah, he had multiple 30-point games. Yeah.
Yeah, multiple 30-point games. That's what I'm saying. The future looks bright with our youngins. So I'm just trying to look at the bright spots. We haven't had a team like this in multiple positions. You know, we have Grimes shooting guard. We have RJ at the small forward. We have Cam. Well, we've seen it in small limited times what he could do. He could take cats off the bounce. You know, he's a slasher. He's another one who you know, like RJ could get to the cup, but I feel like Cam is a better finisher. You know, he just has those long strides where he's like he has that finesse when he gets to the cup. You know what I'm saying? Where it doesn't matter the opponent if he's riding his hip or if there's a shot blocking defender at the rim. He's going to go around him and use his athletic ability and finesse to go off the glass, whether it's the right hand or left hand. I'm saying he's not going to go through you. He's going to go around you with his length, and he's going to finish that way. Or he's going to get the and one or get fouled and get to the charity stripe. So I'm okay with that. It gets the opposing team in foul trouble and in the bonus early, and we're able to get those easy points at the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why they're called free throws. You know what I'm saying? It should be a given. So that's something that we need to work at as a Knicks staff is helping these guys with their free throws. Mitchell Robinson, Cam, RJ, guys who are slashers, guys who spend a lot of time around the rim, who are going to spend the majority of the game at that line. But yeah, and not to mention his versatility on the defensive end. You know, he could probably guard 1 through 4 as well. So being able to switch on defense with a Grimes, a RJ, a Cam, and a Mitch, whew, We just there's that lineup right now. I don't know who the point guard would be because that's still yet to be determined. But that's what I'm saying though. Like the future looks mighty bright. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Even if we were to make the playoffs this year, this miraculously, just magic just happens and they start clicking on all cylinders. Same thing's gonna happen last year is that we're gonna be a first round exit. So I mean, doesn't really matter. That's why I'm not willing to sell the farm for a player to bring in that doesn't move the needle. That we're just gonna be in the same predicament unless they are a future cornerstone and player, that's gonna grow with these youngins and it is at the same timeline. So like I mentioned, if they want a De'Aaron Fox, then go ahead and go for it. He fits the timeline. He's only 24 years old. If you want a Jalen Brunson, he fits the timeline. He's only 24 years old. These are guys that can join the Knicks and gel with these youngins without having any egos in the way, saying I'm going to be the number one, even though I'm not a number one. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't see that. Like I mentioned, I don't see any big 3-team trades going on.
Right.
The Pacers have their whole team. They're trying to blow up the whole team over there, and I don't know if they're going to start going through their garbage, their dumpster, trying to find a yeah.
Probably not. But they have guys that can move. But I don't know. It's funny because for a team that wants to rebuild, they're not bad for a team that wants to rebuild. They won some good games when they beat the Warriors maybe 2 weeks ago. Just certain teams they beat, man. They've been in close games, so they're not too far off. They're probably gonna make a few tweaks. They might just tool up a little bit, but that's about it, man. They may move Turner. I don't know. They might move him. I know
they need to trade Tibbs over there. That's a Tibbs team right there. You know what I'm saying? If they trade Tibbs over there.
Well, not if they're looking to rebuild, no.
Tibbs would make them a playoff team, like no problem. He would run all those guys into the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that one.
Yeah, if there's a trade to happen, they need to trade Tibbs, man.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah. Yeah. What else? What else do you want to talk about? Is there what has Mitch impressed you about?
What impressed me the most with Mitch, man, of course he looks more in shape. He's looking better in shape. Like he's gotten himself together. He's looking like he's in his best form, and I hope it can carry on. It's almost been a year. We have to bring it up. It's almost been a year since he got that injury last season when that sat him out for the remainder. So I hope he can ride out the rest of this season. I hope he can ride out the rest of this season, man. It's just because we technically needed him. We need any bit of athleticism we can get in the playoffs, and I also want him to get that experience, that playoffs experience under his belt. He needs that. He needs that under his belt so he can know. But then again, I don't know if we're gonna make it this year. That sucks. I don't even know if a trade can push us this year. I mean, the East is just more competitive, man. So I don't know. And then we got this tough West Coast trip. You would hope they would make a trade before the West Coast trip, but it might be too late for that one.
Not to cut you off though, but even if they made a trade before the West Coast trip, that doesn't necessarily mean that Tibbs is going to play whoever they trade for from the jump, because he's going to say that this person needs to earn minutes. I mean, it'll be the Cam Reddish thing all over again. Cam Reddish joined the team and didn't get any run because he needs to earn minutes. And so unless you're having that double standard where, Tibbs they bring in a guy for Tibbs who he wants, and then Tibbs comes up with the story. Oh, this is why we're playing this guy, and instead of,
Tibbs, man, I think he just has high amount of pride, man. He has a strong bit of pride. I think he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to take nothing. He doesn't want to take a word from nobody. Like every organization he's been in, is telling him play the vets. I mean, not play the vets. Play the kids. Play this guy, and he just doesn't. He just will not do it. He have the same problem. Same problem in what do you call? He had the same scenario in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, same scenario, yo. Same exact. And I went to go see how Minnesota fans felt about him. They hate him, yeah. Well, they hated him. I'm not gonna say, but
And your boy from Chicago too, right?
yeah, my boy from Chicago, he don't like him either. He's like, why would you do that to Derrick Rose, man? People say, oh, he feels like he owes Derrick Rose. He owes him what? I mean, yeah, he owes him. Of course, he owes him, but how is he going about it? By running Derrick Rose into the ground again at 30, 33, 34? Come on. Let Derrick Rose can play for someone else. I mean, I like Derrick Rose here. That's just me. But Derrick Rose can play for someone else, man. You know what I mean?
Did you hear Derrick Rose might come back after the All-Star break?
Yeah, that's probably the only somewhat good news of the season.
Yeah, let me salute some more cats in the chat. Salute IQJ. Salute D'Angelo. Salute Troy Fleet. Salute Anthony D. Y'all check out Anthony D on Sundays. Sundays at 11 on Old School Knicks. All right, so back to Rose. Yeah, so that's good news if Rose comes back though, because like I mentioned before, he's a player that unlocks everybody. He unlocked Obi. He finds up on leak outs. He finds up on oops. He always has his head up. He's a bucket getter when the team is stagnant and we can't score. And that happens a lot. So Rose is able to get his while getting others involved as well. So and you can move him around if you need him to be with the second unit and take pressure off of IQ and move him back to his natural 2 position.
Right.
And then just hit those open trays and not having to worry about facilitating for others. And then you get Burks back into the 3 spot in his original position. And with his limited minutes, because we all know Burks plays better limited minutes than starting and trying to orchestrate the offense.
Guys look better when they don't start. A lot of guys. Yeah, it's not sustainable for a lot of guys, yo. That's why I'm glad we people missed the guy, but I'm glad we let Reggie Bullock go, man. A lot of guys, a lot of people like people. The thing is, you have to understand, some guys are just good up until playoffs. You know what I mean? The true player comes out in the playoffs. You got to be a dog for the playoffs, man. You just have to be. Everything you do has to go up 10 times better. You have to just kick everything. You have to put everything on 100 in the playoffs. You know what I mean? You can't slouch. You know what I mean? You can't go in there 80%. You got to be 100% by playoffs. And we what was I going with this? So a lot of guys was just one dimensional in the play. We was very one dimensional in the playoffs. So that's what we got kicked. If we had Mitch, it might have balanced out just a little. We had Reggie Bullock who could play defense, but it didn't really matter because he couldn't guard Trae Young. He couldn't put the ball on the floor when Trae Young was on him. So, whoever he had to guard, he didn't really have to worry about him too much. He didn't really have to worry about DeAndre Hunter too much. DeAndre Hunter might have not. DeAndre Hunter was most of these guys was getting set up. If anything, maybe Bogdanovich, but most of these guys was getting set up from Trae. Trae was finding all these guys. The real problem was stopping him, and we didn't do that. We didn't have the personnel to do it. So that's why I'm hoping to see some run from McBride soon. But then again, I don't know. We might not make playoffs, so I may not even speak on it yet. Might not even make them.
That's what I'm saying. If we're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs at some point. I hope the front office forces Tibbs to play the youngins. At that point, it doesn't make any sense to keep running the same unit out.
It really doesn't, man.
I mean, right now we're still mathematically in there. I mean, we're in the play-in. We're one game short of being in the play-in, so I get it.
Right.
But at the same time, though, I mean, like I mentioned, though, at the same time, though, bringing Rose back, he is going to pick up where he hopefully he picks up where he left off, and everybody's still, everybody's clicking, because at one point we had like one of the top best benches in the league. I think we're definitely top five in the strongest bench. So you get everybody back to their original positions, and we figure out what's going on with the starting unit. Um, do we bring do we bring a Cam in there? Do we finally get a point guard, or does Rose start? Does Rose start? And then, I mean, there's just so many different possibilities when Rose gets back. How
Right.
we look, and what combinations do we go with? But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, did you hear that Obi's going to the dunking contest?
Yeah, that was another little bright spot, I suppose. That he's gonna be in the dunk contest at least.
Yep, yep.
So I mean, I'll take that one. I mean, I
You
suppose.
better win this time, man. That's all I'm saying. You better win. You
I'll
better
take
win.
that, I suppose. You
Yeah, I
got
don't
rings anyway, but
yeah, that's the only bright spot, man, because nobody else, you know, made it. Nobody else got any spots. Not that I thought they deserved it, anyways. I mean, maybe a Grimes because he's playing the way he's playing right now, but he just showed up too late. He doesn't have enough time to get a spot. But there's always next year. There's always next year for the stars, rising stars, the
yeah,
rising stars for next year.
right.
Um, that should light a fire under IQ though, because didn't IQ make it his rookie year?
So
No, he didn't make it his rising stars.
that I don't know because I didn't even watch that. I don't really watch that stuff.
No, I don't think he made it his rookie
I'm
year.
just not into that no more. The All Star Weekend.
No?
I'm not into it. I stopped caring about it years ago.
Okay. I'll be watching it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Grimes got snubbed. Chef NYK. Grimes got snubbed from it too.
Mm-hmm. Well, Rose. RJ got snubbed from it too his rookie year.
hmm
Yeah.
His second year he was in, but actually no. Well, no, RJ was in the what was it Team USA versus Team.
Not last year, but not his rookie year though.
Well, now he was on the Team USA versus the. Yeah, well, not that he was in his rookie year. No, I thought he was. I remember 2020. I remember he was going. He had a good. He was having fun out there with the other Canadian dudes with shit. I forgot now. I thought he was in there.
No, I don't think he was his rookie year, but last year he was for sure though. Last year he was for sure, but not his rookie year because he always gets snubbed for something. But that should just start a fire underneath you, especially if you're thinking you should have got one of those spots. Maybe maybe work on your game and next year. Yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. Anything else you want to bring up?
Any predictions for tomorrow?
Who do we got? We got
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
We got a tough team tomorrow.
Matchups. Let's go by my matchups. Kemba versus Ja. Man, that's gonna get ugly quick.
It's gonna get very ugly.
That's gonna get ugly.
We don't got nobody in the backcourt to guard him.
Nope. You put Grimes out there.
Yeah, but that's off the second unit. You don't know when. Tibbs has to see a lot of bleeding. I will say one thing though. He doesn't hesitate to take Kimba out pretty quick. He takes Kimba out very quick. So we'll see. We'll see.
How quick is quick though? Like 4 minutes, 6 minutes?
Probably 6, 5, between 4 to 6.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, but I'd rather that than any. I mean, I like Kimba too, but there's times where I see he'll keep guys in for an entire quarter. Then the next quarter he'll start like the bottom half of the next quarter, then he'll put the guy in that he was supposed to. It'll be too late. I don't get this guy, man. I'm sorry, I really do not get this guy. I don't get Tibbs. I don't understand his thinking. I don't understand. It's no disrespect. It's no disrespect. I don't know what Tibbs is thinking majority of the time. I really don't know.
Like I mentioned before, I'm not trying to go into the mind of a madman, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not crazy like that. So I'll never understand that way of thinking. To me, I would, like I mentioned before, I for a defensive minded coach, I would go straight either IQ or McBride at the one. Yes, either one plays defense, and then you got Grind at the two playing defense. I got both of those guys pressing at 94 feet from the jump. You know what I'm saying? And then you got RJ at the three, Jules and Mitch. Like, we're playing defense. Defense.
I would love to see a nice young athletic team out there, man. Like a nice, like Cam, RJ, Grimes, IQ, and Mitch. I would just do it, man.
And then with the second unit, you got no. I can't catch no oops though. That's the only problem. I'm throwing in Sims. We going athletic. We going Sims.
I have Sims out there, man. Athletic.
We going Sims.
Obi run. Them guys.
Sims, Obi, Cam. I'm going Fournier for some spot up shooting, and then whoever's left over at a McBride and the IQ, whoever one's not starting. That would be my starting in lineup in second unit. That's no Taj, no Noels, no Kemba.
I can't see no Taj out there today, man. I mean tomorrow, man. I can't do it, man. I can't do it with the whole Taj thing. This stuff has to stop, man. It has to stop, yeah.
I just gotta laugh. I just laugh these things off. I mean, you can't get mad about it. It is what it is. Oh man, what does he bring that Sims can't bring? I mean,
experience.
He's not setting screens like he used to.
He's not a lob threat. So what is he bringing, Tibbs? Tell us. Experience. That's what he's going to say. Experience. And I've come to the conclusion that a Tibbs type player, there is no Tibbs type. Of course, defense, but a Tibbs type player is only one kind, and that's the guys he ran with in Chicago. That's it. Butler, Rose, and Gibson, and he has two out of three of them. He wants Butler. I'm pretty sure he wants Butler here to a capacity.
I do want to see what Mitch does against Aquaman. You know what I'm saying?
That'll be tough. That'll be good.
Yeah, because Mitch supposedly flex, bulked up, and Aquaman, he's pretty strong himself, and he's pretty fundamental as far as blocking out and setting screens. So I don't know if Mitch is going to eat the way he's been eating lately down there in the around the rim, just grabbing those boards and getting those putbacks. He's going to be battling tomorrow against Steven Adams. So I'm hoping he wins that battle, and I hope he stays aggressive. And I would like to see him take Adams off the bounce when he's out there at the top of the key or out in the perimeter. So I'd like to thank everybody who joined us tonight. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. Cully and Subliminal 209. It's Knicks after party. Let's get that dub tomorrow. And we'll see y'all Thursday.
Let's hit the likes, man.
Smash them likes on your way out.